Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:01 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. I hope that you're all doing great out there. It's the 1st of May. It's a brand new month, brand new week, brand new day. So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. We've got a special show for you guys as well. We've got a great show today. I'm talking with a longtime friend. He and I just reconnected. We've been friends on Instagram forever. Been seeing what he's been doing. We'll be talking about food today. So if you're hungry, prepare to get hungrier. But my friend Terrell Cole of Dark Horse Catering is here. How you doing?
I'm good, Curtis. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. We got Gabriel in the house, but he doesn't have a mic. Gabriel, how you feeling?
Feeling good.
He says he's feeling good. Brett, how are you today, young man?
I'm good.
All right. Good morning. Jennifer Ryan Mayton is here. Good morning. Good to see you guys. So I also have the news that you need, and we got a great story to tell you too. How was your weekend though, Terrell? How was yours?
Pretty hectic. We had business as usual. So on the weekends, we generally have private parties. We do pop-ups at breweries. A bunch of different catering items going on. So yeah, it was a little bit congested, and I'm happy it's Monday.
Right. So now, do you have a pop-up or anything scheduled today that you'll be doing some cooking for or anything like that?
No, today is like
an off day.
Off day.
Wow.
You kind of decompress. Menu writing for the whole weekend because you've got, for all the Star Wars fans out there, May 4th is coming up. So you got to get pretty punny with the names of the food and everything like that
Right.
to keep everybody entertained.
Jedi jerky.
Yeah. All right, so that's a good one. So I'm going to use that.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I saw you.
I'm going to use, because I've been struggling trying to come up with this stuff. But
I freestyle well.
You're talking Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner, and then we've got a wine on the Fox is coming up. So that's kind of our first big event for the season. That'll be the first time we break out the pizza oven. So
okay, now what's the name of the pizza oven? Weirdos.
Oh, so we call it Weirdos. Yes,
Weirdos Pizza.
Yeah,
that's a dope name.
Weirdos Woodfire.
Weirdos Woodfire.
Weirdos Woodfire Pizza. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I can hear this. I can hear the kids. I can imagine the kids screaming that, "Mom, I want some Weirdos, man." Well, that's really good. Now you brought some merch and you brought some hot sauce today too.
I did, yes.
That we'll be going over and talking about. But let's talk about your clientele right now because you're looking to break into Aurora.
Yes.
And we'd like to help out with that. So anybody looking for some catering, my friend Terrell here does fantastic cooking, great items. You will be delighted and pleased. But how's it been with clients and everything? And you're in Lyle, about to set up in Downers?
Well, I'm based out of Naperville, and we kind of just expanded from there. So when I first started, I've been in business for about a decade, a little over 10 years now. So when I first started, because of my culinary background, I was the executive chef of Sullivan Steakhouse in Naperville. I already had kind of built-in clients from that.
Right.
Then I never really had to advertise, and it was just me. But as, time goes on, you start to expand and everything, and you get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. I don't ever really want to take on more than I can handle, but also have a problem saying no.
Right.
So whenever we're like doing different things, it tends to be more of a word of mouth marketing.
Sure.
That it was kind of nurtured from, and now I'm looking to do a little bit more than that because word of mouth is great. It's fantastic. But if I can actually get my food in front of people and have them taste it and try it, and to have them realize that we're not just another caterer, not just some guy.
Right. Word of mouth is great. Hardcore business marketing and being out there and actually being in the mix with, with those clients and decision makers is a whole other thing.
Absolutely.
Now, when I first met you, I think you had just left Sullivan's.
Yes.
Because you weren't at Sullivan's when we met. But I do recall, like, the first things I heard about you was, Terrell, chef.
Yeah.
Like, excellent chef. Like, he's the one, So I think that word of mouth was helpful then, but we'd like to help out with and see if we can, get you around some more places in Aurora here.
Yeah, I don't like for about 5 years now, I've been doing work with Pure Skin Solutions, Fatima. We just did their 5-year anniversary last year off of Stolp in Aurora. But like she's, I would say, probably my only client out here. I would like to, private parties, because everybody has a party. I just want to know who you using. Why is it not me?
Right.
What's going on? But I get it. I understand.
Y'all still doing Jimmy John's?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Panera Bread. Come on, stop. But I feel like if I could get my food in front of people, so I'm thinking like this summer when you guys have like different pop-ups and events and stuff like that. The venue's been fantastic. I've done a few things.
Great
at the
people.
venue.
Melissa Mercado gets a shout out.
So
all of them.
I've done a few different things. I've done a fashion show at the venue and then one other event at the venue. So I feel like that is a good source. But again, you're not really in front of that many people where you can kind of stand by and like kind of self-promote your product. So that's more or less what I would like to do here. And this is a good way to do it because between up north, like Zurich area, and even like towards the city, I just partnered with a restaurant, like brewery called Exit Strategy, and they have a full kitchen. So I'm going to be using their kitchen, and that could be my outlet to the city.
Right.
And hopefully we open up to a bunch more people that would love to come try our food. But my biggest thing that I want to do is definitely, like I've lived out here for 20 years in the Naperville area, and I've had maybe like 3 clients from Aurora, and I'm saying like, what's really is that? And it's like, why is that? So I definitely wanted to at least see exactly what is it. Like not saying, I'm guessing people, if you're not gonna order from somebody you don't know.
Sure.
So the biggest thing is let's try to get known out.
I don't think a lot of people know about Dark Horse Catering in Aurora.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
The time is 8:09 a.m. Saul Olivas is here. Good morning to you, Saul Olivas. Larry Acevedo III as well. Good morning to you as well. I'd like you to check out our last 2 videos though on our YouTube channel when you get the chance. I'll send you the links because we doing things with the camera. We out there catching really good stories, especially with food, big dog. So I want you to see the last video we made, and we'd be happy to do one with Dark Horse, man.
Yes. I'm all in.
Get our skills.
I'm all in.
Shout out the brothers. Where were you born and raised?
Philadelphia.
Yes.
Philadelphia.
Is that where you gained and learned your love of cooking? How did that happen?
Well, growing up, my family always cooked. So I shouldn't say my family. It was my mom, my grandma, my grandfather. They always cooked. So the holidays, of course, was big. Thanksgiving, Easter, all that stuff. You get all dressed up and you go over to grandma's house. And she's cooking. And then like years later, we found out my grandfather was doing some of that cooking. I mean, this food was delicious. And then because most of the time it's grandmom and mainly it's the women. But no, I didn't know Grandpa was throwing down those stuffed clams and the bread pudding and all that stuff.
Yeah,
he was touching it. So I had no idea until later on in life that he was doing it. But like my grandmother's biscuits, growing up eating that stuff, and it just kind of became intriguing because she had little techniques and things that she would do that because I was always curious. So why'd she leave the bacon grease on the stove? And well, how does that not go bad? Like,
she putting flour in the grease.
Yeah, why is that? Like, what is all that for? So after a little while, instead of asking questions, because we weren't supposed to ask questions because she's not giving away none of her secrets or tips.
Right, go sit down.
You just watch. You just kind of watch from the other room, see what she's doing, sneak and steal. And then when I finally decided, all right, this is what I want to do, kind of honed in on it. And then she would give me feedback. My mom would give me feedback. My family would give me feedback. They were my first clients, like when I was cooking in the house. And then when I got good at it, I stopped cooking for them.
You start charging them?
Start charging them.
Like, look, I know you gave birth to me and all that, but this plate here, $10.99.
So they always make fun of me a little bit because of that, because you don't even cook anymore. Like, well, no, I mean, now, people pay you to do it now.
Right.
But every now and then, like now at home, my nephew moved from Philadelphia, so he lives with me now. And because I'm the only one out. My brother's in Waukegan, but I'm the only one out here.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, I'll cook and I'll get a couple people come over and we just kind of throw down, or we'll go over a buddy's house and we'll cook some food up and kind of just hang out. So that's kind of like the whole newer family gathering or whatever, where I get to tell you know what, I got this new rub I want to try. I got this I want to try, and you have your room full of guinea pigs, I guess.
That's nice. What's your favorite food?
I go back and forth because growing up in the restaurant industry, Italian was where I started out doing French, but then went to Italian for about 7.5 years, and I love that. But lately, it's the Creole food after a couple trips to Savannah and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
One, I like the fact that in Savannah you can walk around with a cocktail.
Yes.
The Southern food, it's kind of like the base roots of home cooking.
Mm-hmm.
The basic scratch food that the minute you bite into it, you're like, hey, man.
Right.
Remember when? It takes you back to a place where,
sure,
things weren't so complicated. So it kind of you're eating food and you're getting hugged by it.
Right.
So it's one of those things.
Yeah, there is a basicness to it all.
Mm-hmm.
You think about a dish like biscuits and gravy.
Yep.
Any restaurant, any breakfast joint's going to give you biscuits.
And they all have it.
But your biscuits and gravy you may have eaten or you grew up with will be very different than what you may taste elsewhere. So yeah, there is that basic.
And everybody has their own little niche they put on it.
Right.
So for me, I most of the time, if I very rarely do a basic one. Most of the time I throw andouille sausage in mine.
Okay.
Because I always have andouille sausage because I always make gumbo.
Good stuff.
So using the andouille sausage gives me a little bit of heat in my biscuits and gravy. And then when we're making the biscuits, you make these beautiful, fluffy cheddar pillows and everything like that. So
they got to be big. You got to smack somebody with
they got to be big. They got to be so big, people get mad. There's not enough gravy.
Right.
So now they got to order more.
Oh,
that's what you need. I mean, talking about the biscuits the size of a fist.
Right. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Anita Lewis, good morning. Aisha Saxon, good morning to you as well. Valerie Trainham, good morning to you. All of you great people. This is my dear friend Terrell Cole here. This is a special interview today because he and I go way back. And Dark Horse Catering, as you can see, come in a little bit this way. Let me zoom in on that logo. See, I'm doing the zooming. Check that. Dark Horse Catering, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking food this morning and trying to do what we can to introduce my friend Terrell around. If you are looking for any catering, something different, something special, something unique with absolutely fantastic ingredients, Dark Horse Catering, he's got you. Add a little bit of spice and something unique and different to your party. So you mentioned that you started off cooking French.
That's where I did interned.
Okay. And then you went to Italian.
Yep.
So what was your, let's talk about your background with cooking and everything. Schooling and education. And how'd you get to French?
I went to the restaurant school at Walnut Hill College in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And that was the basis of their cooking because they're one of their things was French is the basis of all cuisine.
Okay.
That was one of their mottos. So most of the dishes that we were taught were French-based dishes.
Okay.
So easy transition into getting an internship in a French restaurant. So
awesome.
I just didn't realize at the time that it was this place called GMA, and it was at the time one of the top 25 restaurants in the country. I'm just in there chopping parsley.
So you got an internship at one of the top 25 restaurants or French restaurants? Restaurants in the country.
Yep. Had no clue.
Just
I just walk in there, you know, like, hey, I'm Terrell, looking to do internship, hand over my paperwork. At the time, it was the chef's name was Fritz Blanc, and he wasn't even like looking at me. He was on the computer with his back to me, and I'm being interviewed. I guess it was the manager at the time. He's talking to me, and he's like, "You know how to use a knife?" "Yeah, I know how to use a knife. I'm in culinary school because I think I'm the greatest thing to ever hold a knife because I'm in like 2 weeks of culinary school."
The man, right?
So I chopped more parsley at that restaurant than I have in my life because that's all you can do when you're an intern is either whip butter or chop parsley. So,
wow.
And I did that for a little while, and they finally moved me up to like making madeleines and helping out on the dessert station and different things like that. And then once I could follow direction, then, you know, they move you in different areas. And then when I'm doing my pastry internship at Fitzwater Cafe, and then that's when I moved into the Italian restaurant.
Scratch it up. You said when you could follow direction.
Yeah.
Go back to that. Talk about that. You couldn't follow direction, Terrell?
Go
back.
Let's the biggest thing is discipline. A lot of people feel as though, like, when you're in the kitchen, you just kind of do whatever you want, but that's not the case. You have to, and it's not even so much of following a recipe, it's following a standard. You know, if certain things have to be cut a certain way, if certain things have to be formed a certain way, certain things have to look a certain way, and they have to look a certain way because it's a representation of a whole.
Amen. That's the end of the show right there. We out. This show was only how many minutes? 17. We out. No, I'm just playing. No, that's right.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's like that. So, I mean, you have to, if you don't understand, more than welcome to ask questions, but you can't just, you know, and I'm sure people sit back, well, how do you chop parsley wrong? Oh, yeah, you can. You most certainly can. So
you learned that.
Yeah, yes. And taking that and using that in everyday work ethic was a good base. So at first it was frustrating, just chopping parsley and whipping butter. But now I understand why it had to be done. It's kind of like in the sushi restaurants, they say you have to make rice for a year or something like that. You have to do it till you don't get it wrong. You know, it's second nature.
Right.
So, like, it's certain things, like now when if I'm making a cheesecake batter or anything like that, you know when it's done, or you know when somebody's not whipping it properly, or you can just, when you're whipping butter, it turns into this light, fluffy, airy thing. And if it's not that, it's wrong. So it's just,
right.
And you can't
like
put
math.
it out.
It's
so
just like,
yes, 1 + 1 is 2.
Right.
It's like, is certain things like that that was a course of, it was just a course of discipline that you just had to learn. And every day before I did anything else, it was still my responsibility to chop the parsley, whip the house butter, and then I could go on to my other tasks. Because each day, I would say each week there was something else added to it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved to the Fitzwater Cafe, it was the same thing. You learn how to make the creams and stuff like that. But before you even do all that, first thing you got to learn how to cut butter.
Right.
So that as much butter as we're working with, it's got to be cold in all our recipes. When we're making the shortbreads, we're making pie crusts and all that stuff, we don't generally work with warm butter unless we're making something that we're baking. Like brownies and stuff like that. But if we're doing pie crust, the butter needs to be cold. So this is like everything going up to that is a discipline. A lot of people think like, baking's a science, cooking you can just do whatever you want. Yeah, you could do whatever you want, but it'll never come out the same.
Right.
Like if you're looking for uniformity, then you kind of have to have a process, and that taught me a process. So
that's a life lesson right there. I find that special, and the reason why I went back to ask that ask that question was because since I've known you have never given the disposition of being a person who was full of themselves or thought they know. You've never been a know-it-all.
No.
So to hear that moment of knowledge and discovery in your journey as a chef of like, no, I had to learn. I had to be taught. I had to get it right. That was,
Yeah, most definitely. Even now still. I mean, you know a lot,
Yep.
but at the same time, there's certain things that, like vegan food is becoming more and more prominent. Man, I barely ate vegetables growing up. So,
Right.
like,
Now I gotta
let
cook it.
alone all this other, like, you talking these derivatives of this, like using seitan, and now you got the vegan sausage. Well, what is that?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right. How could you make vegan sausage?
You know, like all these Beyond things. And so my nephew's a vegan, and living with him, like, he's going to school for health nutrition. So living with him, and then you have somebody to bounce ideas off of, because he's been vegan for a little over a year now, and like he is one of those vegans that's in your face all the time. Like, why you not eating?
You still
good?
with
This
the
guy,
ribs?
he's yeah. He's sitting there. He'll sit there and eat a whole watermelon, 6 mangoes, and all this. I'm like, bruh, no way you're not craving a burger right now. Let's go
Brett
get
look
some.
hungry over there.
Yeah, right. Let's go get you some McNuggets or something. You
Right.
need something, man.
Gabriel, take me to a commercial, please. No, that's awesome. See, I'm glad you said that, though, because I've been trying to tell these guys the same thing, man. It's look, it's not just chords. It ain't just putting the mic there. No, it's a standard. The end result is me not even being here, and they able to run the show on their own.
Yes.
It's a process. You're not just getting coffee. It's a process. It's a whole thing, baby. It's the army.
Yeah, and I it was this analogy. I watch Inside the NBA a lot, and as Kenny Smith said, it's a microwave society. A lot of times, people want things right now, and they. I had this conversation the other day with my nephew. He has ideas and stuff that he wants to put on his current restaurant's menu. He ain't even been there 6 months. You gotta put the time in.
Right.
Let them get established in what they're doing first, and then your information that you're trying to give them could be valued, because you don't know their process of what they have to do behind the scenes. There could be food cost issues that they need to get under control, because we don't know what the place was before.
Right.
What their budget is. Like, if you don't know any of that, you can always give them ideas, but don't get so frustrated if the ideas you're giving them aren't immediately put into circulation. Everything's a process. If you're willing to put the time in, you'll see some great results. But if you just want everything now, it's just not going to happen.
Will not happen. The time is 8:23 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. F. Littlestone is here. Says, good morning. Terrell Cole is amazing with the food. Yes, he is. I use him for all my catering. Well, you're ahead of the game, F. Littlestone. You already know how good it is. Your clients already coming. Oh, who made this? Dark Horse Catering. Josue Pais is here. Michael Rayford. Good morning, Michael Rayford. Cheryl Brownell. Good morning to you. Maria Chirito, Paris Bistro, and Tracy Duran. Brett, take us to a commercial, young man, and give us it's the first, so what's most important is give us Greenfest. Thank you.
muted too. Aurora Greenfest returns on Saturday, May 13th at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Frisco Community Center.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, I'm working on something that's very interesting real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an interview that I'm putting together that will shock and amaze you all. Scratch it up. Where's my Illinois state of the yada yada news? Well, here it is. Right here. See, it's a process. That's why I got this folder. So I don't got to look for the news. Just look in the place you put it, bruh. Okay. First things first. The Senate committee unanimously passes Comptroller Mendoza's bipartisan Act of Duty bill. Now you may be asking, Curtis, what's that? Well, the Act of Duty bill covers Chicago first responders severely stricken by COVID-19 in the days before vaccines were available. Comptroller Mendoza's brother, Chicago Police Detective Sergeant Joaquin Mendoza, was the first case to go before the city's Police Disability Board, which appears to have adopted a policy of not giving disability pensions to officers disabled by COVID. Detective Sergeant Mendoza lost his kidneys, had 5 strokes, and was left permanently disabled by COVID. And that's according to the Disability Board doctor. Now, State Senator Bill Cunningham and State Representative Jay Hoffman passed legislation during the height of the pandemic to ensure the state's workers' compensation law accounted for first responders who contracted COVID-19. And the measure has already passed the full House with a unanimous vote there and now moves on to a vote by the full Senate. That's good news. The time is 8:26. And today it's a very important day as well because there's a blood drive. Hope Springs Eternal. This is taking place at the World Mission Society Church of God, located in the Fellowship Hall at 2920 79th Street in Naperville. Appointments are appreciated. Walk-ins are welcome. This is from noon to 6 p.m. today. Now, this is by Varsity Blood Centers. Donate and splash away. All attempting donors will be entered for a chance to win $1,000 in gift cards to a water park resort. Wow, that's really cool. Now, the number is 630-723-2589. The number again is 630-723-2589 with eligibility questions. There is a QR code as well. Brett, can you do me a favor? Can you scan that QR code and put that link in the chat for the folks? Thank you very much, young man. The time is 8:27 a.m. All right. So after cooking in a French restaurant for so long, you went to an Italian restaurant. Was that how it went?
Yeah, the French restaurant. Well, I went to culinary school for pastry.
Okay.
So from the French restaurant, their pastry chef was also a pastry chef at this place called Fitzwater Cafe, which did desserts for an Italian restaurant called The Saloon.
And this is in Philly.
This is in Philadelphia. So I wanted to keep everything in walking distance so I could hit a bunch of different places and also still work. So going to Fitzwater Cafe, that was strictly pastry production. So They made everything from scratch, pasta, everything, and they made all that for the restaurant, The Saloon. So we got done work early one day. I was there for probably about a year, but we got done early one day, and I'm just kind of wandering around Philadelphia. If you've never been to Philadelphia, that area, that historic area of Philadelphia, absolutely gorgeous. So you get done like around 2:30 in the afternoon. So I'm just kind of walking around. I hit this dead end on Fitzwater, was it Front Street, in this area called Queen Village, and I see this restaurant out front. So I just kind of walk in, just wanted to check it out. Fancy looking place and everything like that, and I see this real big guy standing at the bar, and I walk in, and he's like, "Hey, can I help you?" I'm like, "No, not really. I'm just kind of, getting done culinary school." So, and he got his eyes kind of lit up. I'm talking to the owner, and immediately he's like, "Hey, well, we're looking for somebody here to intern and do some pastries to take a little pressure off of our current pastry chef." I was like, "Yeah, man. How much you want to get paid?" I said, "What?" Because most of the time internships, you don't get paid.
Right. Like $5 million.
So I'm sitting there like, you gonna ask me? How much? Like, I'm all of like 19 years old, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, well, come down, meet Alvin." So I go downstairs, and I meet Alvin was the pastry chef at the time. So I meet him, and we're all sitting there talking. And being in culinary school, now I can only do X amount of hours. So we came up with a per day amount. And it wasn't that much, but it didn't really need to be because no other internship was paying.
Right.
So I was like, all right, this is the one I'm going to stay at.
Right.
Alvin wind up getting promoted to executive chef, which left me downstairs as pastry chef. So he left a great template to work off of. But it kind of had going from Fitzwater Cafe to Frederick's. Fitzwater Cafe had everything they needed right there. Frederick's, you literally had to go upstairs to use the ovens that they were cooking on. So you had to restructure your time and everything. So you had to get in there before they did to bake, and then you could finish everything later on in the day. So, and like you did like your vol au vents, your puff pastry, things that they needed for service and everything you were responsible for. So, I mean, I wound up staying there for about 7.5 years.
Wow.
So I was the pastry chef for probably about 3. And then wound up becoming the sous chef for the other 4. And then even after I left, came back part-time to help him out when he needed, when he was transitioning through other employees and stuff. So, yeah, I had a great relationship with them. So, and I was there before I left and went to another place in Philadelphia called 2021. And then after that, there was Sullivan's. And then Sullivan's. I was there for 12 years, and then after that, then that's when I started Dark Horse.
Wow. So between the French restaurant and the Italian restaurant, you talked about the growth you went through and experienced at the French restaurant. What'd you gain and learn at the Italian restaurant?
So so they were two completely different experiences. The biggest one because you were more left to your own devices.
At the Italian restaurant?
At the Italian restaurant. So I got a lot more problem solving and individual growth. So when situations occur, you have two options. You can do nothing or you can fix it. You have to fix it because there's people depending on you.
Right.
This is a 50th anniversary. This is a 50th birthday.
Right.
This is a bar mitzvah. This is a christening.
I'm about to propose to my girl.
There's a lot of stuff going on. And in all of those situations, dessert's pretty important.
Right.
The whole dining experience is pretty important. The last thing you want to do is if a cake got missed or something like that, you could be upset about it and talk about it later, but you don't ever want to do anything to ruin the guest experience. So
right.
I would say like there were some things that were frustrating about it. Overall, it was a great place to work because it taught me like this has to get done and we have to take care of this for the guest experience.
Right.
Any issues you have, the guest should have to pay for our training.
Right.
And the guest shouldn't have to pay for our inability to staff properly and stuff like that. You know, that's not the guest's fault that any of that happened. So the last thing you want to do is project any of that dysfunction onto the guest. Like, I mean, there were times where it was completely chaos going on in the back of the house, but the guests never knew it.
Right.
So that to me is a good day because we got through it. And it didn't happen again. Right. Until the next time it happened again.
Yeah, I worked at I worked at Olive Garden, which is Darden restaurant chain. But that was my first and only waiter restaurant food experience when I was in like high school. But I learned you're talking about the getting it right. I would see like the manager, like the big I can't think of his name, but he had experience in restaurants. No matter how many employees was there, after a certain number of people or a certain group or whatever they were there for, he ran it. Like he was not gonna let anything mess it up. He would be the director of all of it. He called it cradling the egg.
Yeah,
and I like that. It was like he would cradle the egg. He would make sure.
It was cool because it was a family that owned it, and Freddie, of course, was the owner. But I that's probably where I learned the most cooking because he gave me a lot of freedom to do that. Yeah. So that's when I say it was growth. A lot of restaurants aren't going to necessarily do that. That was a unique situation, but I was happy to be a part of it. Everybody has different personalities. It's sink or swim. I'm not gonna sink.
Right.
Because I don't want to.
Absolutely.
So
right. It's gonna be the ugliest swimming you saw, but we gonna swim.
We gonna get through it. So a lot of times, a lot of people would say, "Well, I got no direction here. I got no all right. Well, if it's just me, or if it's just me and I had a girl that worked with me named Beth. I had another guy named Christian. If it's just the three of us, why can't we do it? Yeah, why not? But that for me was the place where I kind of grew up and learned a lot because everybody who came in, I took a little piece from, learned a lot of great habits from there, learned some bad habits from there also. But overall, it was, staying there for 7 years kind of matured me and definitely grew me up in the place. So,
Karina Suarez Darden is here. Good morning. Wendy Connell. Good morning. Melissa Cervantes. Good morning. F. Dot says it once again. Terrell catered my 5-year anniversary for my spa last September. The crab stuffed mushrooms. Oh Lord, that sounds good already. I'm ready to go to commercial now and eat. The crab stuffed mushrooms and filet sliders were a hit amongst other things. I bet they were. Josie Mendoza Geller, good morning. The key lime tarts are good too. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys a culinary delight right now. Gabriel, take me to a commercial. I'm about to do something hot for y'all right now. Listen to this. Listen to this brunch menu. Y'all ready to hear some good stuff? Listen to this brunch menu. Upstream windsurfing. Now, if you're thinking about who can cater my party, listen to this. Listen to this. Upstream windsurfing, smoked salmon flatbread, herb cheese spread, microgreens, green onions, grape tomatoes, and cilantro oil. McMac LT, mac and cheese waffle, applewood smoked bacon, arugula, and tomato. I know you're hungry. Girl, I can hear your stomach right now through my headphones. It's all good, baby. Stuffed French toast, caramelized apple, dark cherries, orange butter, and maple syrup. Post pot panic, pulled brisket hash, roast sweet potatoes, onions, and jalapeno jam. And then, just when you thought that was it, fluffy pillows, beignets, powdered sugar, and strawberry compote. Did I say that right? Beignets?
Beignets.
Beignets?
Beignets.
Oh, see, scratch it up. Brother ain't got no.
We did that yesterday, actually. That was pretty good.
That's awesome. And then, so you are on Instagram at The Real Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on Instagram, go to at The Real Dark Horse. Check out the page. Follow my brother. And you can see a whole lot of the great items that he has and what he does. Dark Horse Pastries at gmail.com as well, at darkhorsegrillingcatering.com. Tuck shrimp, farm to Fahrenheit shrooms, all kinds of good stuff. All kinds of good stuff. So here's a question I got for you. Have you ever messed up a meal so bad? Have you ever destroyed something? Have you ever just like totally got it wrong?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can you
Y'all never see it. But yeah, all the time. We mess up stuff all the time. Man.
What's it like?
You think those mac and cheese waffles came out right the first time? No, they didn't come out right the first time. Like that's the thing. You keep doing it till you get it right. You keep doing it till you can't miss. You know.
Okay.
That's all. But I mean, y'all never gonna see it. You know.
Has it ever happened with guests?
Food never.
Okay.
No, not with food. But I have had situations where we might have been late, going to the wrong location, like things like that, like logistic errors and stuff like that. But no, I mean, food wise, we've always, because that's the main thing. So we've always hit home runs. But I can recall, like when I was at Sullivan's, a Mother's Day that we had a rough time with. Again, the people who ate loved it. It was just we had a rough time getting out the food. That was that was a day. That was a day. But I still like get up on Mother's Day like shivering, thinking that I got to go into work. But it's I mean that was long ago, and you think you'd be over it. But no, those things you remember those things. So then this way, taking this step so they never happen again.
That's right. So now Sullivan's, you were there for 12 years.
In total, I was at the one in King of Prussia, which is right outside of Philadelphia, and then I was the chef at the one in Naperville. Sous chef in Philadelphia, executive chef out here in Naperville.
Okay. What was that experience like?
It was great. I learned a lot about business. So working for a company like that, they kind of pull away your creativity.
Okay.
And in turn give you more managerial skills.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to cook per se because you have people that kind of do that. You're more of a teacher. You more oversee. So we were a training store for majority of the time. It was probably that store in particular. I was there for about 10 and a half years. So we were a training store for about 9 of them.
Okay.
And we trained chefs that went to Omaha, Denver, wherever they needed a chef, they would come to us to train. I had a very, very strong kitchen staff, and most of the guys that were with me were there through my whole tenure there. Yeah, it was good. I learned aspects about things that I didn't know. How to read a P&L, how to understand a P&L, how to point out errors in a P&L, how to just daily adjustments that you need if you want to see profit grow, how to cut costs, how to increase costs, top line sales versus bottom line sales. There's a lot of stuff that working at the other restaurants I wasn't privy to, and having that experience repetitiously, you you do learn a lot, and it's eye opening. So it made me confident when I first started Dark Horse that it was achievable, because understanding top line sales versus bottom line sales, labor costs, and total food costs as a whole. These are things like that when you're just cooking, you don't really pay attention to. So you can go to Whole Foods and just, you know what, I want that ribeye, and go home and cook it up. But now realistically, if you gonna go to Whole Foods and pay $22 for that one piece of ribeye and turn around, now that piece of meat right there, you got to charge $75 for if you really want to keep your food costs at a certain rate.
Right.
So it just all depends on like what you want to get out of a business. But I didn't expect to get that out of it. The two things I learned the most was how to run a business, how to maintain a business, and then butchering. Because I butchered seafood before, but we did all the butchering in house, like working at bandsaws and everything. I'm not sure if they still do that now, but when I was there, we were breaking down short loins and everything. So
Really?
yeah,
And was that the first time in your career that you had done butchering?
yeah.
All right.
Outside of cutting up a salmon fillet or the occasional red snapper. And I was at Frederick, they did table side, like Dover sole and stuff like that. So, and it was the coolest part, watching these guys do that with a spoon and a fork. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, like so we cooked the fish and then they'd fillet it like with just little spoon.
What?
Fork. Yeah, it was the craziest thing to see. Like you get these guys, they're probably about 55 years old, and they're out there with the table and they're doing this, and they pull the bones right out. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
But when you have at Sullivan, we butchered everything that came in the door. We had to cut up
Wow.
everything.
The time is 8:42 a.m. So I'm curious now, with the starting off with the French restaurant and being an intern to going to executive chef at Sullivan's. Is it fair to say that Dark Horse is the culmination of all of your experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I don't want to minimize that, because I know that you are a fantastic chef. I know that you love what you do.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And I know that you take what you do very seriously.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that's definitely perfect to say, because I have more that I want to do. I have more things that I want to expand upon. We're just doing catering right now. I want to open a storefront, because the biggest question we always get asked is, where can I go to you?
Right.
You really can't. We come to you because we don't have a storefront or anything like that. But I want to change that. There's a lot of different things that I want to do. I mean, just in the back of my head alone, like I do like jams, like jalapeno jam, red jalapeno jam, stuff like that. And then we do hot nuts, spicy nuts, sweet nuts, stuff like that. It's just a bunch of different things. I have my own seasonings. Like you see the hot sauces, like stuff like that.
Actually, I'm gonna grab the hot sauces real quick so we can see. Gabriel, please, thank you very much, young man.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, there's a lot that I
forgot you ain't got no headphones on. You can do that. Gabriel ain't gonna knock over nothing. Gabriel Bradford is he's part of the Aurora Youth Council and the Alive. Oh, scratch me up, man. Hold up. Hold on. Hold up. Stop it up. Sip it up, too. Sip it up. Everybody's sipping it up. Gabriel, you sipping it up. Brett, you just sipped it up. Iced coffee. You know what? I forgot something. I forgot to say congratulations to Gabriel. I did forget to say that. Gabriel did the 2023 Youth and Family Resource Fair. The man had the mic in his hand. He was, for all intents and purposes, co-MC. He did a good job. There was about 800 people, I think the official count was. There was about 800 people there. He effectively, as part of a team with Mike's and Pranati, right?
It was
Alicia, Matthew. They, under Simon Rodriguez's direction, effectively held 800 people in a good sway as entertainers. That's not an easy thing to do. Good job, baby. I'm proud of you. Hit the claps for you.
Yes, indeed, Gabriel. Very good, brother.
Top left.
Yeah.
Good job, big dog. I was proud of you, man. I was proud of you. I'm sitting back like, look at Gabriel. Can I give you one piece of advice though? Remember, you got a mic and it's amplified. So sometimes when you're starting off, be careful that you don't yell. Hey guys, how you doing out there? Oh, like we good, bro. Like we good, dog. Oh, don't shoot. All right, time is 8:46. Zor Zapata, hello. Julia Lindbergh, hello. And Jasmine, my dear friend, good morning to you. All right, let me zoom in on these hot sauces that we got here. Now, you were talking about the jalapeno jams. Louisiana style Gendos?
Gendos.
Gendos?
That's my buddy Chris out in St. Charles. He makes all these.
Oh.
So if you're ever in St. Charles, Gendos Spice of Life, walk in the store, he's got like 150 hot sauces on the wall. So
okay.
He does my hot sauces for me.
There's the Verde.
Once I tried his hot sauces, I've never had another hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Coming from you, that's a heavy claim, brother.
Yeah,
Caribbean style.
Yeah, I'd feel like I'm cheating on him, and I can't do it. Can't do it, man. That's my
Louisiana? Guy. Nah.
Yeah. So, like, it goes like, this is the green one, the Verde is the mildest, and the red one's the middle, and the Caribbean's the hottest one.
All right. They look really good, man. Thank you very much for these, too. So, check these out, Dark Horse Pastries, and they can be bought in St. Charles? What's the name of this?
These can be bought from me on my Instagram.
Okay.
But, you could go to Gendo's Spice of Life in St. Charles, and he's got a bunch of them out there.
Okay, shout out Gendo's. Shout out Gendo's Spice of Life, man. That's looking good. Looking real good. Okay. So, 8:47 is the time. So what do we what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next thing that you'd like to achieve? We're talking about getting out here in the marketing thing, but what's the next rung on that ladder, and how can we help you?
So the next things I want to do is, first, it's I've got the catering thing. I wouldn't say down, because there's still areas I want to branch out to and accomplish way more in that, and that'll always be the main thing. I do want to open a storefront because we do entertain a lot, and I have a ton of ideas that I want to do, a bunch of different things I want to accomplish in that storefront. So I do want to do that. Currently looking at spaces in different areas, so that'll happen in the near future. I do want to open a beverage company because I just got another LLC for that called Black Velvet Beverages, and I want to do something with that, kind of like a mobile bar to add that to my catering, and then you just take it from there, and then just keep building and see what happens. I want to see everything grow. But when I open the storefront, the main goal for that would be to make it transferable to where I could open another one in another suburb and kind of do the exact same thing.
Sure.
Just
create the template and then copy paste that
just build it. So this way, Dark Horse can ride off into the sunset, and it's not about me anymore, because for the first 7 years, even now a little bit still, I am the business, and a lot of people, if I'm not there, they're like, oh, well, Terrell's not there. Well,
it gets tough.
What is this? Like,
it gets tough.
Whereas now when we have parties, I make the food, but I'm not necessarily there to serve it or to set it up. The girls I have working for me, they do a fantastic job, and it is crazy. Like, I have my nephew will help me sometimes, and I have one other guy, and then everybody else is all female. I didn't plan it that way. It just worked out that way.
Right.
It's just like I have an affinity towards people that were already in the restaurant industry, because they know how to serve, they know how to bartend, and I'm a big fan of cross working. So when they can multitask, they can serve, and if a bartender's needed, one of them can break off and make drinks for you. I think that just adds something to it, and it helps them.
Yeah,
so
I find that admirable.
Yeah, it's not I'm only a bartender, I'm not going to serve today. Then I can't have you if that's where your mindset is, because at the end of the day, the money is great. You're all making the same money. Why even argue about it? It's a party. Right. Everybody likes to have a party. Have a good time at a party,
I mean, for goodness sake, we got stuffed clams and margaritas, y'all. What is y'all tripping about?
Yeah. So currently the girls I have working for me, they do I don't really like saying working for me. That work with me. They do a really, really good job. One of them does social media for me. And I've already gotten like responses from people that your social media is so much better now.
Right. Right.
Well, because I get a little close up on the camera, so
Yeah.
I'm terrible at taking pictures. So
Well, I've been following you. We've been friends on Instagram for a long time, and like I've seen a difference.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. It seems more focused.
yeah,
It does. It seems a lot more focused now. Now it's like consistent focus.
yeah,
Boom, menus. Boom. It's leading with the strength now.
Yeah.
It's not just stuff. It's leading.
Yeah,
it's,
'cause
it's leading with.
before when I would do it, I would just take pictures and post or even videos of what I had a chance to.
Right.
Now we're in the process of putting together a more fine-tuned script, but at least now we have something to go off of. Whenever we're working, this stuff needs to be posted. People need to see videos of this, and it's all a process because social media is so ever changing. So it's just, you want to make sure you're good to keep up with everything.
Had a question about the sauces. How much are the sauces?
$10.
Julia, hello.
Large bottles and small bottles. Small bottles are $6. Large bottles are $10.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, get y'all the large. Look at that.
I would say you might as well, yeah, because like this green one here is my personal favorite. I use that in like chicken salad, tuna fish. This right here is like an everyday one that goes great on eggs. And if you fry anything, this one I like a lot on the fried shrimp.
Yeah.
Like when I do like shrimp po' boys and stuff, that's really going on the fried shrimp.
Okay, fried shrimp. We getting hungry up in here, Lord. Gabriel, take me to the commercial one more time, please, young man. All right. I don't think we have a. Do we have a guest Wednesday? I don't think we do. I don't think we have a guest Wednesday. I owe y'all a lot of news. I got a whole folder full, and I haven't told y'all anything about what's going on. I told you about the blood drive today, and that's very important. But here's what I'm going to give you before we wrap this up and start landing our plane today. There's a citizenship and public aid benefits workshop coming up Saturday, June 24th. It'll be from 9 a.m. to noon. Family Focus, Aurora, 550 2nd Avenue. I just went there for a tour. It's a great place. They are friends of ours. Christina Campos gets the shout out. Professional fees by credit or debit card, $50 for citizenship, and then the citizenship immigration fees payment is $725. The price applies only on the day of the workshop. There are required documents and application and renewal of Medicaid, SNAP, COVID funds applications is also an item that you can do. This will be a workshop to help folks with various things. Brett, I want you to put in the chat the phone number down here and the email address of this person and title it Family Focus. Thank you, young man. All right. Time is 8:54 a.m. Dan Barrero is here. Good morning to you, Dan Barrero. And Rick Childress is here as well. All right. So when's the next event?
This weekend. Saturday. No, we'll start with Thursday. Thursday, again, for all the Star Wars fans, is May the 4th. So we'll be at two different locations. One is in Batavia. It's a pop-up at a brewery called Sturdy Shelter. We just started doing things with them this year. Probably like one of the bigger breweries that I've been to. They have an upstairs. The beer is great, and it's a big-time like family atmosphere. And that's still weird to get used to, having like big families in a brewery. It's crazy, but it kind of works because everybody gets everybody gets to hang out together. They have a bunch of games there that the kids can play and everything, and the parents get to hang out and drink beer, and then we're there doing food.
Right.
So I think we're there from about 4 to 8 or 5 to 9, one of the two. I'll check to make sure, but I think we're there from, I think it's 5 to 9. And then also that same day we're at Exit Strategy Brewing. They have a Star Wars themed party going on, so that could go either way. It could be really, really crazy or really, really weird. I'm hoping it's both. But we'll be doing food there. Definitely pop-up starts at 4, and we'll go to whenever. I mean, it gets kind of busy down there, so we'll just go till we run out of food. It's Friday.
What day you at Sturdy Shelter?
Sturdy Shelter is Thursday.
Get off the courts.
Yeah, Thursday, May the 4th.
Okay. Thursday the 4th, Wendy, for that.
And then Cinco de Mayo will be at Skeleton Key in Woodridge, and also at Lake Zurich at Phase 3 in Lake Zurich.
Okay.
Wine on the Fox is the 6th and the 7th. and that's the weekend.
Okay.
So hopefully it's a good turnout, and hopefully some of you guys do come out there. So
Yeah, please do. If you're looking for something to do, please check out the events that Terrell just mentioned. And Skeleton Key was the other one in Zurich.
Phase 3 is in Lake Zurich.
Okay,
Skeleton
Phase 3.
Key is in Woodridge.
All right. Now you know Jedi Jerky. So
Jedi,
if you
yeah.
make some jerky.
It's
There you go. There you go. You know.
I think I'm gonna do Jedi jerk chicken. I think we're gonna do that.
There you go.
We're gonna do a little Jedi,
There you
little
go.
Jedi jerk chicken is what we're gonna do.
There you go.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
I like that,
man. You know, if you do some deviled eggs, make them, deviled Death Stars or something. I don't know. I'm just, I'm
Say,
good.
no, I should have called you first, man. Like, look,
Yeah.
man, because sitting there trying to put all this together is crazy, man.
That's my strength.
It is. It's tough, man.
That's my strength. I can't whip the butter,
because
but I can do the names now. Yeah,
it's gotta be catchy. And then it's gotta be accurate, because you got the Star Wars fans out there that come after you if it's not catchy.
Yeah,
So,
they will be ready.
you know.
This is actually a New Hope.
Yeah.
I'm not buying this, man. Time is 8:57. Cheryl Brownell says, "I see you at Wine on the Fox." Cheryl Brownell is a dear friend. Enjoy yourselves out there. Torria Plata, good morning. And Wendy Connell says, "Thanks. I'm already getting hungry and looking forward to the food." Awesome.
Very good.
So the time is 8:57. I want to take the last couple of minutes to say that I'm proud of you and I'm proud to know you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm proud to know you too, man. You're doing good things out here, bro.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it.
I've been seeing you do the same to you, man. I've been seeing you, man. You stayed doing what you called to do, and I mean, here we are.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the kind words. But no, just following you that's awesome. Like, I love the fact that this whole thing you have going on, and like, it's different ways that people do it. The way you do it is very admirable for me. So
I appreciate it, man.
Anytime I get to talk about you, I'm like, no, Curtis is that guy.
I appreciate it, man.
Curtis is that guy.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Well, we both came a long way from the Naperville days and hanging out. There's no more Grumpy Bulldog and all that. The whole scene has changed, but I am glad to know you, man. And
Absolutely.
I wish you the very best.
Likewise. Thank you.
We will. Does Dark Horse have a Facebook page?
We do. It's Dark Horse Grill and Catering.
If you could please put that in the chat, Brett. Dark Horse Grill and Catering. Just share their Facebook page. And Wine on the Fox is coming up, guys. May the 4th be with you as well on the 4th. The show ends on a positive note. What is your message today to the people of Aurora who are going to be seeing more of you?
People in Aurora, a message from Chef Terrell to you is, let's see, anything you have going on in your life is always a time to celebrate. There's no reason for bad food. No reason. Call me.
I love that. What's your number?
215-873-5842. And that's the mobile number. So that's the serious number. But my work number is 630-570-0347.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. We hope that you guys enjoyed this show today. This was a great show. I'm glad to have done this with my personal friend Terrell Cole here. Shout out to Dark Horse Catering and Gindo's in St. Charles as well. You guys have a fantastic day. Good Morning Aurora will return on Wednesday with another great show for you. Tomorrow's episode of Buenos Dias Aurora. Be blessed. Take care of yourself and each other.